Today we are doing top 10 discs for intermediate disc golfers. Let's jump into it. All right, number 10, we have got the Westside Discs Bear. The Bear is a super interesting disc, pretty unique in the current market. A lot of people have their overstable 7 speeds as a fairway slot. The Bear slides in as an 8 speed with 6 glide, 0.5, 2.5, so a little bit more overstable than some of the others in that same slot. But with a tiny bit more turn as well. So this is really unique flight. You can see the difference with the glide in this disc as well as the slight turn out of the hand, so it's not the same shape. And intermediate golfers are going to be able to get a little bit different flights with this. If they started on hyzer, it might flip up to flat a little bit more than your average overstable 7 speed, but it's going to have that reliable bite that counteracts that initial turn. The super beautiful Orbit Ice plastic is just a bonus for this thing. But yeah, go ahead and try this out. Forehand, backhand, this thing is awesome and a great start at our number 10.
All right, moving on to number 9. I want to give a little disclaimer and say that this list is curated just by me and Reed as intermediate disc golfers. Reed typically plays MA1, I typically play MA2. I do consider myself an MA1 rated doubles partner though, because there's not as much pressure with putting. The real goal of this list is to just create a place for discussion to happen. Maybe you see a disc you haven't heard of before. Be sure to comment down below, let everybody know what you think is the best disc for that intermediate slot of disc golfers. You're not a beginner anymore. You're maybe starting to throw 300 to 400 feet, getting up there. So we talk about the buzz a lot on this channel, and we've decided to forego the buzz and go with the MD3 from Discmania. The MD3 is going to be slightly more overstable than the Buzz, typically 5501 instead of 55-11. But they are pretty straight flying, and the reason why we're putting it on the list over the Buzz, I'm setting my personal opinion aside, is that Discmania is really starting to fill up their plastic offerings, and every single one of them is incredible. They came out with the new S-Line MD3. It's a little bit straighter. The hand feel is incredible. You have, of course, the C-Line MD3, their new plastic. Everything's made over in Sweden now. Also feels incredible. Maybe a tick more overstable. And my favorite has been, they have, if you can find them, there's some Metal Flake C-Line MD3s out there. They feel so good. They feel a little bit gummier. They fly just the way I want them to. It has me questioning whether I want the Buzz in my bag or the MD3. MD3 made the list, number 9, congratulations.
And now on to number 8. But for all you intermediate disc golfers looking to step up your disc game, you should also be looking to step up your apparel game with Flippy Disc Golf. Flippy Disc Golf offers a ton of different varieties of products. If you live in the South like us, you might still be shopping for short sleeve stuff. It's 80 degrees out here today, which is absolutely absurd. It's November. But if you live up north, they've got all the hoodies. And in the South, guys, it will get cold eventually, and we're going to need that out on the course. It gets windy here especially, so they've got their windbreakers, they've got their hoodies, they've got hats for you. They've even got gloves for when it's getting really cold. I know you guys up north need these. So go ahead and check out Flippy Disc Golf. You can check out our custom line of apparel at the Swanky Disc Golf collection on their website. They've got this polo, this same pattern in a hoodie, a lot of the stuff that Luke's wearing in this video as well. They've got you covered, and you can use code STAYSWANKY at checkout for 10% off your order. Guys, check them out. You're gonna look super fresh, and we're staying hot, we're staying cold, no matter what you need, they've got you. So check them out at flippydiscgolf.com. All right, moving on to number 8, we've got the Streamline Disc Pilot. This Pilot is a glow Matt Dollar Pilot, but the Pilot is a really sweet disc, and we wanted to include some throwing putters on this list. Obviously, putters are the line or the position in your bag that has the least amount of variance, right? You putt with what you're comfortable with, and a lot of people try to throw with what they're putting, but some people like to explore different options for throwing putters to get different flights. And we recommend the Pilot if you're an intermediate player. It's got this nice, comfortable bead. One of the best feeling glow plastics, in my opinion, like a super nice glow. And the Pilot flies incredibly straight and lasts, like the durability on these plastics is gonna last you a long time. It will retain that straight flight, which is crucial for an intermediate player looking to get something consistent in their bag. We as intermediates know discs are flying in and out of our bags like crazy because we just want to find what works. So yeah, guys, go check out the Pilot if you're interested in just checking out a new throwing putter. We recommend it.
Up next, we have a disc that if you've thrown it, you already know it and you already love it. And it is the Clash Discs Wild Honey. Clash discs, ever since they came out, have been impressing everyone on the market with their super consistent and super smooth feeling plastic. Their plastic is super high quality. They have the steady honey, and they have these new double steady wild honeys. The numbers on this are 12.5, -2.2. If you get the traditional steady honey, it's gonna be a little bit more flippy. And having an understable distance driver is just a good thing for every disc golfer to start learning how to use and implement into their game. And for intermediate players, you're gonna be able to get some banger distance out of this. Maybe comparable to a Hades, but not quite as understable as some of those, like more of the first run and prototype Hades you'll see on the market that are super understable. It's not gonna be that understable. If you want something just a tick more overstable, but that same honey feel, these are gonna be consistently a tick more overstable than the steady one. So you can take your pick. You're gonna get a ton more distance with these than most other drivers. As an intermediate player who's even throwing up to like 400 feet, this is gonna be a great hyzer, flip to flat, turn right, fade at the end, S-shape kind of disc for you. So yeah, that's the Wild Honey at what number are we on, 7?
Okay, number 6, we have one of my favorite new discs of this year, and that is the Jester Discs Peace Train. We've talked about this on the channel before, in members videos and review videos, but guys, this disc is super awesome, and it's an understable mid. So you might be wondering, Reed, why is this on an intermediate list? We don't throw understable discs now. Now we have big arms and can throw overstable stuff. Stop right there. You can still throw understable stuff, and you still should be, guys, especially learning hyzer flip shots. We've talked about it at length. Luke just talked about it with the Wild Honey, learning to flip stuff up and get bigger and different shapes out of your disc flights. The numbers on this are 5.4, -2.1, but we have noticed maybe it's a little bit more understable than that. And for me, it is super awesome for tunnel shots that I need to start on hyzer, get a lot of straight distance, and then start to ride right. It's also basically a mint disc lobster. It's manufactured by MVP, just like the mint disc lobster is, and the mold is essentially identical. Luke used to bag a lobster, and he was like, this feels exactly like my lobster. So guys, if you like the lobster, go get a Peace Train. These are sick.
Moving on to number 5, for all of you longtime players, Innova throwers who are like, if there's not an Innova disc on this list, I'm gonna lose my ever-loving mind. This is for you. Innova, after all of these years, is still innovating, still putting out new discs that are better than all of the other discs out there. And so we have picked the Innova Toro. Now, there's so many overstable approach discs out there. We find a lot of people are reaching for the Zone or maybe even the Pig, two really popular ones. Calvin Heimberg helped design this mid-range for Innova. And so it's Calvin Heimberg in mind. He wanted a disc that's gonna be maybe a little bit more overstable than a Pig, flatter. There's no thumb track. It's kind of a better Zone is how we would describe it. It's a little flatter, slightly more overstable than a Zone. I shouldn't say better Zone. They kind of have almost different purposes. They're both overstable approach discs, but the number on this is 4213. It's low glide, super flat, super comfortable in the hand, and we've been finding that this has really taken over in the hearts of many professionals and advanced amateurs as the king of overstable approach discs. For anybody who feels like the Zone is maybe a little bit more glidey, but they don't want a Zone OS that's basically a tilt, this is I think this is what a lot of people were hoping the Zone OS would be, is right here. A more overstable Zone that's flat, less glide, really shallow, really comfortable. This thing is awesome, and we're highly, highly recommending it as really the king of approach discs. My favorite is the Zone still, but if I would have thrown this before I threw the Zone, I might have had my opinion swayed.
All right, number 4 is the Casaplast Cax Z. Now, before I even start talking about this disc, go buy one. They're really awesome, and they are going to be out of production soon. It's very sad. Casaplast has decided to discontinue this mold, but because there's so many still out on the market as of filming, we decided to go ahead and include it because it is unique and it's a little bit different than a lot of mids that we've thrown, and we hope that you guys will find it really helpful as you're growing your intermediate game. So the 6.502, it's almost a fairway. Some people would say a 6-speed makes it a fairway, but Castoplast calls it a mid-range, so we're gonna call it a mid-range. And 0.2 is probably a little bit of an overstatement. It's probably 0.1, flies very straight, but a lot of people avoid throwing 6 speeds for some reason. Where is the 6-speed love? 6 speeds are really interesting. They feel very different. I would go as far as to say very different from a 5-speed. So if you haven't thrown any 6-speed discs, drivers, mid-ranges, whatever you want to call them, you need to go try some because they fit in your hand very differently. They provide a different comfort feel. And the Cax flies incredibly well. Very straight flyer, can get a lot of different angles with it, just like any neutral mid, but it feels different because it's got that slightly wider rim. So go ahead and give the Caxi a try while you still can, guys. That's the number 4.
Coming in at number 3, we cheated here a little bit. I know, it's embarrassing, I'm ashamed, but we did 2 discs because they're very similar. There's kind of a war over which one is better. Basically, if you were born before the year 2000, you think the Wraith is the GOAT. If you're born after the year 2000, you're looking at the Grace. These are 2 11-speed drivers. They're pretty similar in hand feel, and they're similar in flight and features. Some would say that the Grace is a naturally beat-in Wraith. I found it really depends on the Wraith. A lot of Star Wraiths fly very darn similar to an Orbit Plastic Grace. So we want you guys to let us know in the comments below which one is king of the 11-speed. These are both incredible discs. You're not going to go wrong with either one. These are a great, also like first or second distance driver for intermediate players. This could be your max distance driver. I believe that the FPO like world record for distance is held by the Wraith, and there's a reason for that. They're bombers, even though they're not 12, 13, 14 speeds. Super straight flying. If you get really big distance, if you're pushing past 400 to like 450, they'll turn a little bit for you. They'll come back. Wraith or Grace, guys, let us know.
All right, we're down to our last 2. And this one's a special one because it's super popular. It's taking the world by storm this year, but also our good friend made it. And that's the Isaac Robinson Archive. The Archive is a really unique disc, especially in the new lineup of Prodigy. It stands as an overstable mid-range that has a really good amount of glide, but that's pushing very straight and fading very reliably at the end. I would not compare this to an MD3. It's a step up in stability from that same disc. The Prodigy numbers are 5502, so you can sort of even see that step up in stability in the numbers. The plastic feels incredible. This is manufactured, I believe, by Yakun Discs on behalf of Prodigy. But I'm really pleased with the quality of both their, I believe this is the 500 and this is the 400 plastic. So there's only 2 types of plastic, but they both feel really awesome. The hand feels incredible, not too much dome, perfect for a mid. And so this is a great disc. Go give it a try, guys.
The number 1 disc for intermediate disc golfers. This is the reason why you all showed up here. So before we get into it, be sure to hit the subscribe button for more content. We just hit 30,000 subscribers, so we want to say thank you guys and let you know that coming up very soon is Discmas. We're gonna do 25 videos from December 1st to December 25th, video going live every day, and we're going to give away a disc to a random subscriber every single day. 25 discs are gonna be given away next month, so be sure to tune in every day, join us for Discmas. It's gonna be a ton of fun. Now for the number 1 disc for intermediate disc golfers, this is our opinion. This is very biased. Let us know what your number 1 is in the comments. But we have the Discraft Onyx. I absolutely love the Onyx. Reed really likes the Onyx. We all really like the Onyx. The numbers on it are 10.603. You can really feel that 6 glide. For us, it's the 10-speed rim. The feel of a 10-speed rim is incredible. I know, I've mentioned this before, I know intermediate to advanced players who just know that like 10 speeds are as far as they go as far as distance and utility. So if that's you, this is gonna be your overstable distance driver. It's great on forehand. It feels so good as a throwing it flat forehand disc, watching it turn a little bit, or even throwing it on Anheuser. an incredible disc, and I think the 10-speed slot is underutilized so often by disc golfers, kind of like 6 speeds. Big fan of the Onyx. That's number 1, guys. Again, let us know what you think. Don't forget to subscribe. Discmas is coming soon. You don't want to miss any of those videos and giveaways. We will see you then. Stay swanky.